it's Pastor John. It's good to be with you here again in another week. I pray that it'll be a week full of possibilities and blessings from God as you spend time with Him and He leads your life, walking in the Spirit, as Paul says. It's a wonderful thing to know that God will bless us, and He's given us promises to receive that blessing. And we just need to claim those promises. We need to ask Him for those. And He pours out that blessing on us. As Peter says, we become partakers of the divine nature of God, the power and strength that comes from Him. So it's a wonderful thing to think that God has given us these promises and we can claim them. But one thing I think that often we miss as we talk about these blessings and God's promises, and that is the condition of those promises. The condition that God has given us is the sacrifice of our life. Not my will, but thy will be done. We can't just claim something selfishly and expect God to deliver it. God delivers, He gives us what is best for us. And we can only receive what is best for us if we are willing to sacrifice the things that hold us back. Think about Abraham and Isaac. Abraham was blessed with this promise that God would make his descendants more in number than the sands of the sea. And he would experience that promise eventually, but not until he sacrificed his very best. And that was Isaac. He was willing to give it up, all of it, to receive the blessing of God. And my question for you today, are we willing to give everything up for God's blessing? You know, there's this old Chinese proverb. I'll just read it since I jotted it down here. There's been a Chinese legend of a potter who sought for many years to put a certain tint on his glasswork. And over again, he would put the glass in and he'd make a little few changes and the glass would come back out, and it wasn't what he was looking for. He got so frustrated and fed up that he decided he'd just dive into that furnace, and he was burned up. He was consumed. His life was over. But when the people came and they pulled the glasswork that he had in there with him out, they saw that the glass was exactly what he'd been trying to achieve for years and years and years, that perfect tint. And it finally was his, but he was no more. But it really has some application for us today too. It's not until we give up our life and throw everything upon the altar that blessing, that perfect, beautiful picture of our life that God wants to give in us comes out. So my prayer, my wish for you today and this week is to receive God's blessing. Not just by asking for it, by sacrificing your life and your plans and everything on the altar of God. When you do that, I can promise you, according to His word, He will bless you. He is faithful. And you will see amazing things happen in your life and through your life this week and beyond that. God bless you. Have a terrific week.